Welcome back. This video is going over the most common mistakes in film when it comes to music. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and look in the description below and you'll find the video link for that one. Mistake number 4 is having too much music. You've heard the saying that too much of a good thing is a bad thing. If you have the perfect music, and if that music starts correctly at every point in your film, but you have music in literally every scene, you're probably trying a little bit too hard, or it's going to come across as you're trying a little bit too hard. Music, like you and me, has to breathe. It will definitely lose its effectiveness if it's overplayed. Films that have way too much music, they come across as preaching to you, instead of letting you naturally get into the mood and enjoy the film. Some of the best scenes in cinema have been done with complete silence. So think of times where you can create a lot of contrast. It might be the moment in the film where it's the most dramatic, and you just completely cut the music. Then you can bring the music in later, and it might work a lot better. I've tried this on a film that I've worked on, and we tried a scene with music, and then we took the music out and played music afterwards, and it worked literally 10 times better. Mistake number 5 is having no themes in your film. Now, a musical theme is simply something that repeats itself. It might be a sound effect or a piece of music or melody. Themes are great because they can connect scenes together that have been played at different parts in your film. Not only is it good for different scenes, it can be good for just simply reoccurring ideas. And on top of all that, themes make your film memorable. Music that repeats itself signals importance and idea definition. When the brain hears a piece of music, it goes back and tries to make a connection to a previous time where it heard that same piece of music or sound. Unfortunately, people just completely ignore themes in their film. You'll have a film where every scene has a different piece of music, and that piece of music never gets played back again. Imagine having a scene in a movie that you never resolve. Think about it in that way. And reusing themes can make your life a lot easier. You don't have to hunt for new material and new ideas. I recommend getting a spreadsheet, writing down every scene in your film, whether it has music or not. Then, next to that, write down each plot of the film. So the plot might be something like the murder scene is unraveling, and maybe you'll see, oh, I have 5 of these, and you'll know that in all 5 of those scenes, you should be using the same themes. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be the same intensity every time, but if it's the same theme and it kind of builds on top of each other, it'll make things a lot easier and it'll make a lot more sense to your audience. So always remember, every scene should or can have a theme, and it can be as simple as a sound effect. So let's go ahead and take a look at our little film here again, and we'll see a part where we don't use a theme, and then we'll try it again with a theme. So the first time, as you can see, the sound that scares the man, we hear like a low drone. And then the second time that this kind of sound from somewhere comes out, we hear high-pitched violin. It would be better if we took that low-pitched drone and used it again and maybe added a little bit of subtlety on top of it to kind of build. So the next mistake, and probably the hardest thing to get right in a film, is your genre. Does the music that you're putting in your film actually match the culture and feeling of your film? If you choose the wrong genre, your music and your film completely, it just won't work. Take for instance a World War II movie set in the 1930s. If you have rock and roll guitars going on in the background, things are going to feel out of place. Or how about a high-tech sci-fi film about future human technology 1,000 years in the future? If you use classical music to define that film, it might kind of give you the wrong culture and time period. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you said this was hard, but this sounds kind of like common sense. Yes, it does, but you can get very specific with this. You have to be careful because a lot of movies have subgenres within them. What happened if we mixed these two genres? What kind of music would you use? I hope you're starting to see the problem. How about this? Take Black Panther. It has superheroes, it has an African nation, and it also has high-tech technology. Should we be using sci-fi music, African nation music, superhero music? Now, I personally thought the music was kind of all over the place. This one would require a lot of thinking. You can get extremely specific with your instruments. For example, should an acoustic guitar be in your film? What does an acoustic guitar remind you of? Maybe pop culture or advertisements and commercials? What about something like a harmonica? That would probably remind you of a western or some kind of jazzy film noir. So always be thinking of what the instruments convey and what they immediately bring to mind when you hear them. And not only what they bring to mind when you hear them, but when you see them. What are they known for and what are they associated with? So what I recommend is watching up to 3 high-budget films that are within the kind of same style of your film and kind of what you're going for, and stealing their genre ideas. So subscribe, hit the bell icon, share, comment, like, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and it helps me out.